Hey everybody, and welcome to Hex Token Channel. Your host Superman in the house. Woohoo! We're here, and it looks like we've got no technical issues. Yeah, all right. So very cool. Welcome everybody, and don't forget to subscribe, smash the like button, hit the bell on the way in. The other thing, of course, is Bitcoin and Hex are breaking to the upside. It's the moon time, and man, oh man, it's a lot of fun. So we're just going to have to keep reassessing our worldview on the crypto vis-a-vis everything else. So we're going to do that. So what's the lineup for today? You guys know we're going to do the stock market quickly. We're going to finish off Friday, the last day of the week for stock market. We're going to quickly go through that, some of the banking updates there. We're going to get into Bitcoin and crypto rankings pretty quickly. And we're also going to talk about some stuff about the attack on crypto banks, because that's very important. So we're going to keep on top of that. We're going to jump into the Hex, and we've got lots of Hex stuff today, lots of it. So stay tuned for that. I mean, a lot. We've got a lot of Hex stuff today. Lots of cool things happening in the Hex space, like a lot. So we're going to talk about that. Then we're going to jump into Pulsechain. We've got a little bit about Pulsechain, and then, of course, we're going to get into the Hex daily stats and get paid. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, your host Superman in the house. Let's get in here and see who's around. We've got Michael R. Good to see Michael R. Woo! Good to see you. And of course, Lies Beneath always drops us the alpha there. And of course, how are you today? Very good. And of course, the ultimate strategy: Hex, EHEX, PLS, and PLSX for the win. Woohoo! That's right. You know it. And the main game is on. And we're playing it. So Pulsechain, Hex. Let's go. Sandy Beach as well. Good to see Sandy Beach. Always a pleasure. We got Christian in the house there as well. Hi, my familia. Good to see you, Christian. Who else is jumping here? The Church of Universal Oneness. Good to see you. 9.1 cents as well. I'm just going to close the run slider just a moment. Yeah, we just had the old crickets there, the old crickets going, and I could hear that pretty loudly, so I didn't want to have the crickets too loud. Just checking in. Can't watch live, says Dave. We'll watch the show later. Hey, catch you later, Dave. And we've got Pudding Guru in the house there. Houston, we have liftoff. We do indeed. We have liftoff. Green in the house as well. Howdy, Superman and family. A sea of green today. It's glorious. We're going to get straight to it as soon as we can. And of course, Rango in the house is all well. Morning all. Hey Superman, let's get 10 cents on the stream today. We may very well have 10 cents on the stream today. We got 9 cents, so why not? Let's believe. And of course, the Blobfish King, woo, 9 cents. Yeah, we're going to get into that. It's coming up pretty quickly. Superman in the house, just in time for 9 cents. Yeah, 9 cents. We hit 9 cents. Granddad house is in the house too. Hey, good to see you, Granddad. We've got Humberto Gonzalez, cheers from sunny Miami. Of course, the crypto capital of the world. We've got Drex in the house as well. Hey, Superman, up and to the right. Absolutely. KD in the house there too. Good to see you, KD. Blair's here as well. Hi, all. Good to see you, Blair. And Brian says, I only hear the crickets when I listen on my phone, says Brian. Yeah, got to keep those crickets down. Luke's in the house there, front running some of the news. We've got MEXC listening in 3 hours, so we're going to talk about that too. And we've got Humberto as well. Hex pumping. I can only imagine what it will do once we get V3. I know. We've got so much stuff ahead of us. It's going to be really cool. All right, let's get into it. Let's do it. Let us get into the stock market first. We're going to kick that out with some of the bank updates. Let's do it. And, of course, let's bring in the old banner. Why not? All right, stock market. Dow falls as First Republic route keeps banks on bumpy path. Remember yesterday they got a big bailout, about, was it 30 billion or something, from all the banks, and of course today it's all flipped the other way. This is volatility. It's what you call volatility, and of course just the way it goes. Let's get into it. The Dow Jones is down 1.2%, 384 points to 331,861. It really does, excuse my French, but it really does suck to be in the stock market compared to crypto. That's all I'm going to say. S&P 500 down 1.1%, down 43 points to 3,900, and the Nasdaq there down 0.7%, 86 points down to 11,630. Now S&P volatility index is up 11%, so obviously more volatility, and that's up to 25.51 there. And of course the dollar is actually down, oddly enough, is down, and that probably due to the interest rates, no doubt. It's down 0.5% there, down to 103.52 versus its trading partners. Let's have a look at the commodities. Brent oil is down 3%, and West Texas is down 3%, both down around about $2 down to $72 for Brent and $66 for West Texas. That's good for the inflation side story. The gold, however, is up and performing well as gold. 3.37% up today, $65, $1,987. So good, looking good for gold. And of course, silver there bouncing off as well, 4.6% up, $1 for silver. That's a big move to $22.69 for silver there, but still well below that resistance line. $24 to $28 is silver. And of course, we know that Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, loves silver. And of course, he owns a lot of these mines. He owns a lot of some of the biggest mines in the world. And of course, he's always pumping those on the news items. So he might be correct about them, but he's still, he's on the supply side. So, think what you may. The Dow Jones fell Friday as the bumpy ride for banks resumed, pressured by a rout in the First Republic Bank. Its concerns about a banking crisis continued despite the $30 billion rescue of the struggling regional bank. And of course, lots of those big banks rescuing it there, transferring their money in. And of course, the news has picked this up big time, all news items all over it. Is this the end? Is this 2008? That sort of stuff. So lots of things going on there. Now, First Republic Bank fell 33% after suspending its dividend and confirming that it had received $30 billion in uninsured deposits. So uninsured deposits. That's pretty risky from the banks putting it in there. From major Wall Street banks, while the move helped shore up its liquidity, First Republic, which has fallen by 72% this week, faces higher interest rate payments from the recent borrowings that will make it challenging to turn a profit. And the source, what will the Fed Reserve do on Wednesday next week on the 22nd? We will see. As well as higher interest rate payments and hit to its balance sheet from markdowns on its loans and securities means that any sale will likely be made well below the current valuation indeed. So always a good time to pick up some cheap assets under distress. A distressed sale of First Republic could result in minimal, if any, residual value to common equity holders, owing to FRC's insignificant negative tangible book value after taking into account fair value marks on its loans and securities. And of course, they double downgraded its rating on the stock to neutral from outperform. How quickly did that happen? With a $5 price target down from 140 previously. OMG. Oh my gosh. They're a slash. It's not just in crypto when you get that occasionally. It's definitely there. Now, technology was a relative outperformer, just falling 0.2%, underpinned by falling treasury yields amid ongoing bets that the Fed could deliver its final rate hike rate of the next year. So there are ongoing bets that the Fed could deliver its final hike of the year next week, which is the 22nd there, and cut rates in the summer. Imagine that turnaround. Oh, my crypto would just be unbelievably booming if we get this scenario playing out like that. About 70% of traders expect the Fed to hike next week, down from 80% a day earlier. Remember, we've had this flip-flop over and over. And of course, what's the rate at the moment? So 62% are expecting a 25 basis points for next week. And 38% of the market's expecting a no change to remain at 4.5 to 4.75 on the federal funds rate. You can see it there. So it's actually just moving around quite a bit, very volatile. Tech stocks are also boosted by a rise in Nvidia after Morgan Stanley lifted its ratings on the stock to overweight from equal weight and its price target up to $304 from $255, citing an artificial intelligence fuel boost to chip demand. And of course, that's pretty cool. If they're really getting that big artificial intelligence boost demand, that really does underpin some of the narrative around AI stocks and cryptos. It's going to be interesting to see that. Now, obviously, they're not all equal, right? Some have direct benefits, other ones just hype, just pretty hype. You've got to separate them out. The relative strength of the tech comes as investors appear to be exiting value stocks amid a sell-off in banks and energy, which hold large sway in the value sector. Investors are buying tech stocks, which would be kind of anti-value. And of course, many of those stocks, particularly the tech-related names, had done really poorly. I think now maybe a look. I think now maybe they look a little bit cheaper to begin with. And if you're not so worried about higher interest rates, then you can justify the move back into those names. So a bit of risk taking there, right? The move into tech, however, isn't on huge volumes, suggesting that the jury is still out on whether this move has staying power. And of course, this could be smashed next week. We'll see whether we come in with 25 basis points. The market will be okay moving through that. But if the Fed decide to shock the market at 50 basis points, which does seem unlikely now, that would be, the markets are going to really dive, really dive. But it's not on huge trading volume. It's the marginal player. It's not that everyone is piling into tech, and I would agree with that. We see that in the NASDAQ results. So that's pretty much it from that. The crypto-related stocks, of course, did very well after Bitcoin had a big surge and still surging. Riot Platforms, Marathon Digital, and MicroStrategy all racked up gains on the back of that. So that is the stock market. Let's jump quickly into crypto. Crypto here at the moment, 1.18 trillion, up 20%. Woohoo! What? That's back in the bull market type of days. We're loving it. We're loving this, man. Up 20%. Yes, please. 1.18 trillion there. Remember, the top of the bull market last time was just over 3 trillion. So that just to give you perspective, but a 20% day is a very good day in the office. Very cool indeed. We see that top gainers here on nomics.com is Conflux token up 141%, stacks up 97 there, followed by Immutable X, Mars Network, Hex, of course, at number 5. Woohoo! Up 59.18%. Yes, please, we'll have that. And Phantom is actually pretty good too, 50% at number 6. Render token is number 7. Mintra Protocol. So you got some massive double-digit gains on a lot of these top 10. But Hex sitting at number 5 at the time now. So getting into Bitcoin, we've got Bitcoin up 35% to 27,570. OMG, looking good. And of course, maybe the top of our move may not be 30K the way things are looking. We've still got the Fed next week, so let's not get too ahead of ourselves. But definitely, it's going to be fun to see. That Fed meeting next week will still be very important. Let's not fool ourselves. Ethereum now at 1783, up 24%. Everyone's banking on the banks and the Fed backing off, right? So that's the narrative that the Fed's going to back off, and that the bank crisis is enough to cause them to do that. That's what's fueling a lot of this rally. And of course, if the banks are having issues, then crypto is really the solution to banks. So that's kind of the linking narrative there that we're getting at the moment. Tether is up 1%. That is at $1.01, looking nicely, strongly pegged there. Binance is at up 23% to $342. USDC is also pegged, looking good there. XRP is up 3.24%. Obviously, I think they still got the court case to come out. That's really lagging behind the rest of the market. Meanwhile, that gives a chance for Hex to catch up to the market cap. With Hex sitting at number 7, up 59% to 904 cents. Woohoo! 904 cents, man. Is that awesome? That is awesome. So really good there. And of course, Cardano is up. It's up 11% there. He put a good old Hodgkinson there. 35 cents is number 8, and Polygon up 15% to $1.23. Finally, our top 10, Dogecoin up 16% at 7.7. That is the play. Let's have a look to see if there's some mega pumps in the top 100. Let's see if there's any mega pumps. I'm talking about 3-digit percent increases. We saw one the other day that entered the top 100. It's probably dissipated now. 70% is pretty good from Mars Network. Let's have a look here. So that is the top 10. So yeah, 70% is the best. But Hex is right up there, right? Hex is right up there, number 5 on the leaderboard. Very, very cool. So that is the market. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. Zoom in on this. Look at this juicy candle for Bitcoin on the daily. Woohoo! Look at this Hex. Look at this Bitcoin move, man. And of course, this is it's reached a high so far on Coinbase of 27,834. Woohoo! That's all I can say, man. That's really cool. And look at these Soldier Boy candles. They call these green candles. Soldier Boy candles. Look at them. Wow. Bang, bang, bang. Pretty cool there on the daily. So very excited. Let's pull up the RSI. Remember, let's actually zoom out a bit here. We've got this dotted dash yellow line is was the bear market resistance for Bitcoin, and of course it broke through that. On top of that, we also had a golden cross here with the 50-day which is the yellow line over the 200-day blue line. So we had 2 bullish moves there, and of course we've had this banking issues just absolutely spiked us back up. Crypto is the solution to that, particularly DeFi, right? Particularly DeFi. So let's get into it. And of course, looking really good here. 27,355, looking nice on the old Bitcoin. Let's have a look at the RSI. RSI is just entering overbought territory. So only just entering here. We could go up much higher. We could go up to like 89 here or so. We're currently just sitting, just entered at 72 on the daily. So still room to move. Will it try and touch that 30K? We'll see. We'll see. Maybe 28 and a half. It's definitely getting closer and closer. And of course, 27,834 is the high so far, looking super bullish. So let's go to the 15-minute chart. You guys know I like that. So let's do that, and you can see this is where we are on the 15-minute. We got all the way up here to that 27,800. We're just zigzagging down at the moment. It's going to be interesting to see where we go from here. 27,400. Super bullish for sure. So that is Bitcoin. We're enjoying that. So imagine the ocean. Bitcoin is the ocean. The ocean is rising, and all boats rise, right? All boats rise. So pretty cool. That's nice. So that's Bitcoin looking good. Now, one thing, correction to yesterday, apparently. This is a revision, I guess is a better word. The FDIC, the insurance that's insuring those crypto banks, dealing with their sales as well, denies report that the signature bank buyer must give up on crypto. Remember, they took over the signature bank for no really good reason. One of the board members said, hey, they're just doing this to attack crypto because it was doing the settlement side of stable coins. And of course, an on-ramping, off-ramping, and of course they just sort of almost tagged on signature on the back of MVB and so it was looking pretty bad with Silvergate and stuff like that. So they were just like tagging it on, looked like a real attack. And of course these guys are denying that. They're denying the fact that this is the case. So they go, the federal. The editor's note, this story has been updated to reflect the FDIC's denial of Reuters report on Thursday. And of course, we read out that Reuters report on this channel. The FDIC has denied reports that the prospective purchasers of Signature Bank would have to stop doing business with crypto, because really this was against the constitutional process, which had already been beaten out in the law several years earlier. I think it was back in 2017. So really big problem there. The FDIC responded to Reuters report, citing two anonymous sources who claimed that the buyer of Signature Bank would have to agree to give up all crypto business at the bank, which is shocking, really. Following publication, a spokesperson for the FDIC told the news service that it would not require divestment of crypto activities as part of any sale. So that's positive, folks, because that is horrendous. And of course, I still feel like they are attacking on many fronts, the old crypto market in a bit more stealthy way. But definitely, this is good news from that point of view. I think they would have faced a lot of court case on this particular aspect. So maybe they're just trying to head that off. So there we are. Pointing to previous comments from Chairman Martin Grutenberg that the FDIC is not looking to prohibit any particular activities by the banks. Initial reports that the FDIC was forcing Signature Bank buyers to abandon crypto activities appeared to confirm suspicions that regulators targeted the bank because it did business with the crypto industry, sparking a furious response from the industry in question. Remember that you've got the government trying to pass these regulations state by state that are trying to undermine crypto and push through. Then you've got the Federal Reserve also trying to push through testing their centralized digital currency. And of course, crypto is a threat to that because they want control. And that narrative is still solidly in place. These guys are still doing that. And of course, you saw one of the governors come out against that, a regulation saying that they're trying to do it by stealth. These are sneaky. This is what they do. Sneaky people. So that's the way to go. They know that most people just want to get on with their lives. So most people are sheep, and they've got their propaganda arms, indoctrinating them, so they can get away with blue murder, these guys. And so they're still doing that side of it. Earlier this week, Barney Frank, an ex-congressman who helped pen the Dodd-Frank Act, told CNBC that bank regulators shuttered the bank to send a strong anti-crypto message. Frank also served on the Signature Bank board, and so that was the member that we were talking about. The New York Department of Financial Services were quick to dismiss this claim, saying in a statement the decision to place Signature into receivership was based on the current status of the bank and its ability to do business in a safe and sound manner. I just don't know how they would know that. So that's the issue I have with that. Only bidders with existing bank charters will be allowed to review the bank's financials before submitting an offer. And of course, who are they selling them to? Bigger banks, the traditional bigger banks that they have a lot of sway and control in, the ones that are doing, the ESG and stuff like that. We'll see. The federal FDIC said it will accept bids until Friday for Signature Bank, which it shuttered on Sunday, and Silicon Valley Bank, which it shut down on March the 10th. For Silicon Valley Bank, or SVB, This will be the regulator's second attempt to sell the institution after a failed auction on Sunday. And of course, there were talks about Elon Musk on Twitter saying he might look at buying it. So I don't know whether that's still going to be in a place, because that would be some degree of good protection for crypto banking. And of course, with his view on Dogecoin in particular, and Twitter, of course. FDIC tried to sell what remains of SVB over the weekend, but couldn't find a buyer willing to acquire the entire bank. The sources told Reuters that the FDIC would prefer an auction of both banks in their entirety. So an auction's a better play, as long as they don't block any of the people that are applying, if you know what I mean. But will entertain bids for individual parts if unsuccessful. Signature Bank's shares started trading on Nasdaq under the SBNY ticker in 2004. By early 22, share price hit $365, so real smashing on that bank. The bank also opened an instant settlement network, and this is the crowning glory here for digital payments, Signet, and of course losing this and the other one, I just can't remember the name, from Signature. It basically has been a big smack, big smack in the face of crypto on-ramping and stablecoins. Was a rival to similar service at Silvergate Bank there. So big deal. All right, let's jump away from that. We're going to get to Hex. Hex looking glorious, 9.057 cents. Woohoo! This is so pumping. That's so good, man. 9.057. And of course, that's pretty exciting. This gets us up to maybe where we're going to go. Head towards 10 cents. We might get have a fight in the middle somewhere about 9.5, 9.6, 9.7 to get to 10 cents. But hey, are we going to get one of those magical Godwell type of candles that says, hey, stuff it, we're at 9.7 cents, let's go. Let's go. And the Hex Godwell comes in, or somebody like that goes, stuff this, we're going over 10 cents, and bam, it goes. Anyway, regardless of the liquidity on the sell side, it just says, stuff it, we're going over 10 cents. To glory and beyond. To glory and beyond. That's what we want, man. And yeah, get excited. Don't get too excited, but get excited. Damn it, get excited, damn it. So yeah, 9.057 cents. That is the current price at the moment. So really nice to see that breaking the 9 cent mark. Very, very cool. Now, let's go to, this is on the daily, so let's go to the hourly chart here on Hex. And of course, get into that. That's looking pretty good, right? Pretty good here on Hex, 9.057 cents. Let's pull up a few comments, and because I'm miles behind on the chat, let's pull it up. We've got 60 people in the house, so welcome to everybody. And of course, let's pull up a few comments. I'll stay in this format, I think. Church of Universal Oneness, 9.1 cent Hex. Woo! Peace and good health to you all. Absolutely. Let's jump through some of that. I think I got through most of these. We got up to that too. Let me jump through those. Machiavelli in the house. Good to see Machiavelli with the rocket bags. Definitely a good time for the rocket bags. Van Sam as well. Hi all, pump, pump, pump. Yeah, it's beautiful. Hope you guys are enjoying your portfolio appreciations. And Sandy Beach says, hello Hex Token everybody. Good to see you, Sandy Beach. Christian says, let's go. Absolutely, let's go. We've got Astrid in the house as well. Woohoo! Hi all, good to see you as well. Kate Fergus says never rely on banks. Yeah, or we do. Unfortunately, we need them to a point at the moment with the onboarding. But hey, I get your sentiment there. Bugger the banks and buy crypto, says Brendan. That's true. That's true. StakeX says I'm late, gang. Did we talk about the Singapore Central Exchange? I'm going to talk about that soon. It's coming up. It's coming up there, StakeX. Kate Fergus with the thumbs up. Like it. What else there? Let me just jump through some of those comments. Danu in the house as well. Woo! Hello, Superman. All Hexicans, I am here and ready on the Pulsechain testnet is missing. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming soon. Harry Williams as well. Yo, yo, yo. Good to see you, Harry. Welcome to the chat. Good to see your name in there too. And of course, who else is jumping? I'm just jumping through all these. Brandon says, boop the likes. Smash those likes as well. Definitely smash the likes. Astrid House is out. People still in denial about bank situation. My sister is an accountant and still shuts off when I mention crypto. Hey, they're missing out, aren't they, Astrid? They're just missing out. Kate Fergus said, okay, I thought so, but throwing me off when you said about Melbourne meetup. I'm not sure what that's about. So I'm talking about someone else in the chat there, I think. Pulse Trump says, shout out to MEXC for listing X. We didn't have to pay to get listed. I've seen coins get listed on MEXC and go. Yeah, we're going to get up to that soon too. Banks got one of their legs taken out last week. I hope True DeFi knocks their head off. I have no love for these crooks and technocrats. politicians walk in and lockstep. That's true, Stake X. We agree with you on that one. Christian says low liquidity helps Hex move fast. Yeah, what we see is the LP providers have been doing that for weeks now, since we were near the bottom of 1.7 cents, have restructured the LP to move the price, help move the price up. It's never inevitable, but certainly has been well set for the move higher. KD as well, let's go Hexkins, get excited, definitely get excited. We've also had some pretty nice pivoting from Richard Hart, and of course some really nice updates that the market has been wanting, and that's been going down like sliced bread or something like that. It's going down. Hotcakes, is it? Hotcakes, maybe that's a better phrase. What else there? We've got Tim Top in the house as well. What's up, Hexkins? Good to see you, Tim Top. We're pumped here, man. We're having a good time. And Robert Mack as well. Hex for the win. 100% Hex for the win. That deserves a horn. Right, so here we are, folks. We're on the hourly chart. Let's go to... I actually didn't bring the whale bot up. I didn't bring the whale bot up. We'll just forget the whale bot, shall we? Shall we? No, we'll bring the whale bot up. I haven't actually brought the whale bot up. Let's do it and see what's been going on with the big accounts. What else there? So let's just speed through this though. 3.8 million bought 19 hours ago for 325k. So that's pretty cool. So let's have a look. We're on the hourly chart here. So what's the 19 hours amongst friends? 19 hours amongst friends. That's down here. So this is where we got this volume, I guess, coming in. And then of course, what else we had going on here? On the whale bot there. 11 hours, 3 million Hex sold for $250,000. Then 8 hours ago, 2.7 million bought for 240. So 11 million we had to sell. Let's go have a quick look at that. So 11 million we had to sell. What was that 11 hours ago? That doesn't quite show here, does it? We had to sell there. I guess it depends on what pool it went through, right? So I don't know. We had 2.7 million bought for 237. That was how many goes? 8 hours ago. 8 hours ago. Let's go have a look at that. 4 bars. I'm not sure where that's floating through. It's not floating through on this chart in particular. All right, so that is the whale bot in any case. So we had a bit of a mixture of more buys than sells, obviously, because we're moving up. Now, the big news, of course, with the Hex, we're going to get to that, is MEXC. We're going to talk about that, but I want to caution about the MEXC. I'm going to talk about the upsides and the caution on the MEXC. So we'll talk about that in a second. So let's get to the 4-hourly chart on Hex. Gives us a nice preview here, nice little pump, as we say, off 5.2. Look at this thing go. And here we are pumping up here. Last time we hit that close to 9 cents here, back here. What was it? 8.8 cents. And we've pumped through that as well. So it's pretty nice. Let's have a look at the RSI on the 4-hourly. If it's going to come up, and it's not coming up for some reason. I'm not sure what's happening here. Let's go to the daily as well. What am I in a funny? I think I might be in a funny view or something. Where's my my RSI has disappeared? Not sure what's happened. I may have pulled up the wrong view on this chart. Anyway, so that is there at 9056. I haven't got the RSI. Sorry about that. It's not popping up. Let's get to the 24 hours. We've got 100. Am I in the right pair? Am I in the right pair here? No, I'm in the wrong pair. I'm in the wrong pair. No wonder I was having troubles there. How did I do that? That's the first. That's the first, all right. This is the right one. This is the one I want. Bring the one I want here. Okay. That's it. That's it. We've got our overlays. That's looking good here. This is the, let's go to the daily. We're going to have to revise our commentary here a little bit. But we're at 8.987 cents. This is on the biggest trading pair. So we're slightly below on that smaller trading pair, which was over 9 cents. But here we are. We've had got up to here 9.137 on the top trading pair, which I always like. Go to the top one, right? 9.137 on the top trading pair. We've got 8.9 million in liquidity in the top pair, USDC and X. So we actually have got to 9.137. And of course, our RSI has only just touched 70. So we're only just at the beginning of overbought territory. So we'll see how we get on there. And on the 4-hourly, let's how we go. We've got plenty of room. We've got a little bit of room on the 4-hourly as well. So we might have to have a bit of a cooling period off. But a good chance we could get into the early nines. Early nines, have a bit of a consolidation in there. We'll see. Sometimes the big players like to just say, stuff it, and let's go over 10 cents. So that could happen too. All right, so that's kind of cool. Let's get into it. And what are we up to? What price? What price? We've got 332 trades, which are buys, and that's 60% of the buy trades. And of course, we've got buy volume is 59%. So 2.5 million versus 1.7. So if that's correct, that's amazing. That's really good results there. And of course, we've got a nice little green Soldier Boy candle here looking really good. So everything looking pretty good. We've got this golden cross back here. Man, it's looking glorious, isn't it? Looking glorious. All right, let's zoom out here, have a look at the wider stuff. So this was our previous resistance all the way back in May 22, and of course we've busted through that. So where do we go from here? Well, I guess we've got a bit of resistance here at 10 cents. So that's pretty much. Now I haven't got channels in here, I've just got horizontal. So obviously you could put channels in here as well. But of course I need to separate my chart out because I've got so many overlays on here. It's getting crazy. But in any case, this is looking good. I mean, we could put a little channel over here and put it up there. And of course, away we go. So yeah, 10 cents in my view, but we could get stuck around 96, 97, somewhere in that ballpark is probably what will happen. And then we may very well get some big player coming in if they're going to decide to take us into the teens, get into teens again. It's going to be interesting to see that for sure. In any case, that's pretty cool. Let's get into the timeline here for the testnet. I've still got 325 basis points at the moment, so not quite as dovish as the market is pricing in at this stage. So I've still got the 325s. I may take those. I may take the June one away next week. We'll see what the Fed comes out with and update our worldview on the interest rates. Obviously, anytime if we still have these 25 basis points up the next 3 months, May and June, then yeah, if not, if the Fed does back down, then we may only get 1 or 2. We'll see. I wouldn't count out the Fed though too much there. It may think, oh well, we're going to bail them out by the FDIC and keep going. That's the way we look at it. We'll see. They may just back off. We'll find out. In any case, we've got the Shanghai fork. Now the Shanghai fork here, I've got to update some of the stuff here. So we've got the Shanghai here. I've got it in. We've got this here. What did I put it in? April there. We've got April the. I think it's April the 12th now. Is the Shanghai fork. Now what we're expecting is the testnet here not to be out yet, so they're still waiting for the testnet. We may very well still get the testnet this weekend. Maybe it's in the next week. Obviously, they've got a lot of things, components for the V3, but it's very soon for sure. And of course, we'll hope to see that soon. Now, the other thing, of course, is when will mainnet be? At the moment, I've still got it in June. I'm still going to hold on to that at this stage. Although, if this doesn't launch, if we don't get V3 by March, we may end up pushing this out because I'm very tempted to push out the earliest time frame into July now. That's the earliest time frame, the key phrasing there. So I might just extend this out to July because if we don't get this out within the next, say, either this weekend or in the next week, then we're really starting to press further because I'm thinking at least 3 months for a testnet to run. Some people have longer periods of time, but at the minimum, at the least, I'm sort of thinking 3 months. And of course, that would mean that if we get V3, we're probably circa about 90% the way there to the mainnet, right? We have a successful testnet, V3, then we're probably about 90% the way there to mainnet. And we may very well not have a V4. So V4 is a bit of a wild card. And of course, the Shanghai is optional still. I still think that's optional based on what we've been told so far, as well as the V3 testnet for Pulsechain as well. So it looks like we're going to go with V2 to start off with at least. And of course, that means we get both sides of the peers. So it's much more important for Pulsechain to flourish, to have both sides. So V2 is more important from that point of view. And of course, from the Shanghai, we can always upgrade later, right? If it's successful. So that's still not necessary. Although I kind of lean on the fact that they may very likely decide to go with that. They've got this time. They've got time to decide, right? So any case, if we get the testnet out here, we won't have the Pulse withdrawals on it. We would have to wait till later anyway. So I think there's still a bit of uncertainty around this. So we'll just wait and see how we go. That's kind of the time frame at the moment. But of course, after the Fed terminal rate, and if we're technically able to launch, then Richard's probably just going to launch at that time. So sooner than later is where I expect Richard to launch there. So that is the Pulsechain sort of timeline at the moment. We may very well update our worldview even a bit more next week. We'll see how we get on. Now, the big news, of course, around Hex is MEXC new listing alert, which is a really big deal, right? Really big deal. And so yeah, MEXC new listing alert. MEXC will list Hex crypto in the assessment zone and open trading for Hex USDC peer trading pair. And this is coming up in the next few hours. We're going to talk about that. So deposits are opened. In other words, deposit your Hex USDC trading pair at 3 o'clock in the morning, March the 18th. Of course, that's the time. And of course, they've got the details here, new listings there. That was posted earlier today. So it's at 6:30. What's that? 5.5, 6-7 hours ago. That was posted. 57,000 views. So that's good. That's great. More eyes are coming on to Hex, whatever it is. It's more eyes are coming on. Influencers, exchanges, whatever. More eyes are getting onto Hex. So it's great. And what's good about MEXC is that it really is kind of a new market. It's the Asian market. And of course, I've always said, besides maybe Hex is the way and a few others, not many people really focus enough on the Asian markets. Talking about Japan, Indonesia, South Korea, all the big crypto places there, and we've got a lot of more work to do. China, obviously. A lot more work, but this is positive in that direction, really positive. So if we jump over to MEXC, we can see that the listing details are on the MEXC site, which is pretty cool. And they're basically just reiterating. They've got a little bit about Hex, what Hex is, and they've also got a little bit of a warning, your standard warning stuff there. Now, the interesting thing is that it will be Hex USD Tether, not Hex USDC. So Hex USD Tether is what the trading pair is going to start off with, and that is the key there. So cool, and great new listing. Now, what I was going to say about this is that there's 2 hours and 53 minutes on the countdown. So this is MEXC.com/exchange. So 2 hours and 53 minutes to countdown. And of course, we're going to see this. Remember, this is not an AMM either. This is a centralized exchange. It has an order book. It doesn't have an AMM like we do in Uniswap. So it doesn't have that. It has a market order. So people place their sell orders. They place their buy orders at their particular price they want to buy and sell. So it's different in terms of how it impacts the price as well. That instead of the X times Y equals K formula for the AMM. So it's a bit different there. It does have makes a big difference on the price swings as well, and obviously it doesn't have things like V3 with more doing one sides, particularly with the way you might set that up. So there's a lot of sort of technical differences there. But 2 hours and 52 minutes to go. So this is really bullish. You can see it there, ready to go, which is pretty cool. And of course, MEXC is one of the biggest exchanges in Asia. And of course, they serve 10 million or so users, is what they boast on the platform. Now, we know that they certainly, when Zen got launched, they were a big player on Zen. I still believe that they're still one of the biggest exchanges of Zen holdings. So it's pretty interesting. They do play a lot of, seems to play a lot of games on an exchange. Obviously, one of the reasons why we're critical of exchanges is some of the games that some of the exchanges play. And of course, they have got 10 million. They're saying 170 countries established in 2018. So a big market. Hey, and that's cool. So here's my caution. About this. Is obviously it's a central exchange, not your keys, not your coins. When you put your Hex on there, you don't have them anymore technically, right? So just be careful with that, even if you're transitioning through it. The second thing, of course, is that this is not generally, we just don't recommend centralized exchange. If you're in the Hex community, we're in DeFi, own your keys, your coins, and of course used DEXs to translate there. You can just sell on the DeFi. So what is this good for then? What is this good for? Well, it's good for introducing Hex to new markets that are not really in DeFi, that are still sitting on the centralized exchanges, that are onboarding through this mechanism, that operate through MEXC. So a lot of the Asian market that is on here, it's a good way of onboarding them into Hex if they see it. So they'll see the listing coming up here. They go, oh, Hex, yeah. Maybe I'll know a little bit about a Hex. Maybe I don't know nothing about it. And they're going to find out more information. And so it's our job, if you see them in any community chats anywhere on any platform, any influencer or whatever it is, that you sort of help to get them off, because obviously not your keys, not your coins. We don't want people to get wrecked. We don't want them to get manipulated by exchange activities. And so it really is a good gateway. So really it's a win for the community, because obviously opening up huge markets to potentially see Hex. And of course, what else? Pulsechain, that's right. So obviously if they get Hex, they get a copy on Pulsechain. It's also the only proxy for Pulsechain. There's no Pulsechain coin. Hex represents Pulsechain at the moment, so potentially could have a huge value upside just from that component of the narrative alone. So it's pretty bullish there. So yeah, not your keys, not your coins. Keep your coins in your wallet. Obviously, it's not financial advice. You must do your own due diligence and do your own decision making. But yeah, strongly suggest stay in the DeFi game. Your keys, you are your own bank, and all that good stuff. So yeah. But on the positive, It is a big listing, relatively speaking, and of course, you can see there up to 10 million served there. Now, how many are active? You can always ask the question there, of course, but I imagine that MEXC does have a decent amount of volume going on it, so worthy. In any case, it's going to onboard a whole new market onto Hex and Pulsechain. Yeah, welcome to the family, is what we'll say. There are always pros and cons, but as we know, DeFi is going to rule the world. You are your own bank. That's the future. We don't like the people to be telling us what to do, and of course, maybe playing the balance sheet. We don't like that either. Cool. All right, so that is great news. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Big stuff. 2 hours and 49 minutes to go, and it's going to be a USD tether pair as well. So that's going to be interesting to see that play out as well. We'll see how much actual Hex gets deposited on there. And will the MEXC exchange buy a lot of Hex too? That's the other thing, right? So will the exchange itself buy Hex, not just the depositors? We'll see, and whether they do that over time in any case. All right, so here we are on Hedron. Hedron at the moment, 2,507. Hedron pumping, and this has been moving really well. We've got the RSI at 64.5, so plenty of room to move higher as Hedron. The buyers are in control, the sellers are beaten down, and the confirmed trends in place with the 46. You need 45 on the orange line there for confirmed trend, and the green buyers are in control. It's pretty glorious on old Hedron. Hedron's looking very fine and damned indeed. And I know that I know Randy Alaska would be super happy about this because he was a bit. I saw him on one channel when the price was down. He's like, "Oh, okay, maybe I'll not talk about that so much." But now the price is up. You got to talk about it. Yeah, so it's up now, 2,507, looking pretty good. Now it's up 9% on the 24 hours, 51 on the buy side, so 76% of the trades have been buys, with the volume sitting at about 78%, about 191k versus 53. On the top trading pair, which has got 1.1 million liquidity in it for Hedron. So good news for Hedron. Let's have a quick look at Icosa. A quick look at Icosa. Icosa at the moment is at 68 cents. Woohoo! So winning. And of course, the Charlie Sheen would be happy. Hashtag winning, double down winning there. Icosa's up 68. And of course, you've got Hedron up at 2,500. So it's looking pretty flourishing in the old Hedron ecosystem. Let's jump over to the liquidation queue for the Hex HSIs. We've got 3,524. This number is dropping. You guys know, if you've been on this channel every day, we cover this faithfully every day. And we were up at, 4,200, 4,300. We're now down to 3,500. So it's good to see the liquidations getting flushed out slowly and surely. And how far will that go? That's going to be interesting to see. Now, how many auctions do we have on at the moment? We've got 22. Looks like 6 of them have been closed already. So that's kind of neat. And we've got, what are the big ones coming up there? We've got one of the larger ones. There's about over 90 that are over $1 million. This one's got 162 T-shares, 1.3 million X. That's one of the big ones. Currently got 34 billion bid on it so far. It's going to be interesting to see what that goes for. That's closing in 3.5 hours. We've got lots of T-shares up for grabs though. 32 T-shares down here, and there's lots of small ones in there too. 3 T-shares and a lot of B-share ones as well. Here's an 18 T-share one. That just got one, so 1.6 billion for the 18 T-shares there. Some of these actually have some early Hedron bonuses too. It's got 3 X's. This one's got a 10X as well, so they got the max Hedron in there as well, the 10X there. That's pretty cool. And a couple of there. So that's we haven't seen that too many of the early Hedron bonuses in there. We've got a couple in there today. What's that? 5 of them, I think. 6 of them today. That's pretty unusual too. So the Hedron there, an added value add. Pretty cool. So that is the Hex HSI auctions. You need app.icosa.pro there. You can find that in our useful links under Hedron Icosa. What's the NFTs? 2 What's the NFTs burned in the last 24 hours? 6,188 endpoints. So good all around. Hedron Icosa ecosystem really flourishing at the moment. Obviously on lifting up with the rest of the market as Bitcoin, the Bitcoin ocean rises, all the ships rise together as well. And of course the assets that people are after rise particularly faster. So it's pretty nice. So a pretty decent day. About $6,000 of burning there for the Wattses. And of course, how many we've got left in terms of endpoints? Almost 4% of endpoints have been burned, with 96% of endpoints remaining as well. So slightly ahead of the actual number of NFTs that have been burned is the case there. Now, we got another summary here from Dev Huey. Hedron minting has exceeded burning by only 518 billion in the last 30 days. over 75% of minted supply is being burned. So we've still got inflation. That's still an issue for me, like further down track. But hopefully over time, that's the burning is going to outdo the minting, with a lot of those early minting bonuses sort of falling over time. Now, only a certain amount of people with all the big OG stakes or large stakes ended up claiming, and so obviously you've got to run. Those will take, some of those are quite long. Some of them are going out to 2030. So it just depends on who's done that in terms of the minting being high with these early bonuses, like 10 was an 11x bonus on Hedron, that sort of thing. So that's going to take a bit of time. At the moment, the minting's definitely happening, and of course when the price of Hedron goes up, people are going to mint more, right? So they're going to mint more, and then of course that's going to be higher than the burning. So you've got all these dynamics going on. It's going to be fun to see how this plays, but in any case, 2.19 just in the recent period of time here, 2.109 trillion minted, 1.5 trillion burned. So the net supply difference up by $500 billion there is the way, and of course there's been 22 billion loaned in this period. So it's only, I don't know what the start date is on this. Dave, yeah, it doesn't, Dave, I'm not sure what date, it's just a small period, but that is the case. What do you say here? Last 30 days, so it's a 30-day period is those results there, 2 trillion. So half a trillion has been increased in supply. So ideally you want to get to a deflation point of view, but still pretty good with the burn. 1.57 trillion is pretty good, right? So I think we can all agree. And of course the yield to people with Wattses and staking is going pretty well. All right, now we're going to get into the, we're still on the Hex ecosystem. I said there's tons of updates today. So we've got MEXC doing really well. We've got Hedron and Hex doing really well. And now we've obviously building on top of Hex these second layer derivatives, or at least derivatives of Hex. I don't need to say second layer, but derivatives of Hex built on top of the Hex contract. And of course, we've got more products launching. So obviously we've got the Magic Carpet Ride team has launched the MCR360.io. And of course, that's a sacrifice that's going on at the moment. I haven't really covered it in too much detail, but obviously MCR369.io, you can check out the website there. That is going on at the moment. And of course, there has been, it's on across multiple chains, but on the ETH chain, I can see here they've had about $165,000 worth of Hex. No, sorry, $15,000 worth of Hex, but 165,000 Hex in here so far. $67,000 in USDC seems to be the case, and they've had quite a bit of ETH here as well come in. So if we go to the listed coins, we can see that they've got all these coins listed. They've also got sacrifices on the BNB chain, Avalanche, and Phantom as well. So that seems to be going pretty well with the kickoff of their product. Now I haven't gone into too much details, but you can find out most of the stuff here. Stake MCR 369 token in the pool to earn a share of rewards generated from our suite of products that Magic Carpet Ride will build. These rewards will be in ETH, Hex, and Hedron on the Ethereum, PLS, Hex, and Hedron on Pulsechain. So this is kind of the idea there. So we're going to build out a product roadmap from the looks of it, and you should definitely check out Magic Carpet Ride team for more details. They also obviously got the Stakehouse, which is launching, and this is going to be having staking pools for Hex. So you can find out more details about that. So really bullish for Hex. This is going to get Hex off the market, circulating supply, reduce that. Bullish for Hex medium long term, and of course also a win-win for the people, especially if they get the larger pays better bonus and potentially cheaper gas fees, I guess is the play there. So it's kind of cool. That's still to come. oxstakehouse.io. And you can find the links in our videos in Discord. Pretty sure I put them there. If I haven't, I'll make sure they're there today. All right, cool. So all the links I'll post in the Discord under our useful links on the Discord. So that link is in the video description. So a big shout out to the team. They're working hard there. The other thing, of course, is Maximus as well. Already well known for building all the Maximus and perpetual products on top of Hex. Bullish, removes supply from Hex, and of course it makes Hex even more bullish. And of course also is a win-win for people, bigger pays better, cheaper gas fees, and of course lots of airdrop tokens as well. Now they have a ticker name claim here as well, and this is what they've just launched this today, only several hours ago. They've got a nice little 3-hour video. 3 hours ago they posted this ticker claim video, so people are able to claim the names to their staking pools or their pool party pools. So these are Hex staking pools and names, and be able to register those. They're not cheap. They're 0.2 ETH, they're about $350 US. So I mean, there are people speculating on them, and of course you do get a party airdrop as part of that too. So it's like you're getting an extra incentive. But of course, I find these are useful for very large influencers, really. I just don't know. Otherwise, you're speculating on the names, I guess. But yeah, this seems like this would be good pools for maybe Crypto Coffee or somebody like that. Somebody that can get access to that bigger pays better bonus. I'm going to do a bit more, look into it a bit more, but that's kind of my initial thoughts at this stage. And of course, they launched this video. So let's play this video and get back to that. Let me get into, let me find my video here. We're going to play the video. This is a how-to video. And of course, it's from Golkey, one of the two founders of Maximus. And of course, they've launched their nameclaim.hexpool.party. So nameclaim.hexpool.party has just launched in the last couple hours. And of course, people are claiming names. Now, you need to use a token called NameClaim to actually secure the name. And basically, it's going to cost you 0.2 Ethereum to get 9,600 NameClaim points that you need to spend on getting the name. So you put the name in, and away you go. So for example, if I was doing one Hex token, you could claim now, and that's the way you go. You have to put 0.2 ETH in there to get 9,600 name points, and then you can click the claim button, and that will go to your wallet and deduct that 0.2 ETH and claim that, mint that name. So you got to mint the 9,600 name claim, and then claim now with those points. So you have to do the name claim first, and then claim the name itself. Now, what we can see below here, we've got all these names that ought to have been claimed already. Heaps of people have been claiming all these names. Look at them. P-Shares, Max, Veterans. This is the one that Golkey did on his video. Almighty, Legacy. No, actually, he did Legacy, actually, not Veterans. He did Legacy. That was on this video. We've got other ones here. Diamond. We've got BTC2. We've got lots of ones in here. Wealth, Hex Whales, Sync, Microsoft. We've got Matrix, Apple, Lambo, Beer, Coffee. Now, this could be Crypto Coffee, or did someone front run this to try and get that name? But maybe Crypto Coffee uses the word Crypto Coffee rather than just coffee. I don't know. Now, someone took Superman. Someone was real mean out there and took my Superman. They took Superman off me, man. They took it. They front run me on the Superman. Boo! So that's not me, folks. If you see Superman pulled, that is not me. Someone else did it, and I bet it was someone from my own channel that watches this channel. I bet they front run me on that, and they're going, I'm going to get Superman here. I'm going to get his name. Yeah. So that looks like what's happened there. Anyway, so there we go, folks. And yeah, there we are. Now, we got crypto there. We got money as well. Lots of people done cool stuff in here. Hexakin, of course, is in there. Hex Life, Hart, Richard Hart. People trying to front run the Richard Hart one there. And of course, that might be good. We've got Stake in there. We've got Moon and Cinco as well. Maybe that is Cinco would be, was it Cabana? No, is that Cabana? No, Cinco would be, there's the other channel. I'm just forgetting the other channel. But anyway, that's in the play. I really do kind of feel like this is suited to large influencers, or that you can, that you can get lots of people on board. Because I think if I'm understanding this correctly, you still gonna need when they actually set up the pools, you got the pool name and the people that set that up. If they get a lot of people in there, they do make a little commission. I think it's 1%, and of course people will get the benefits of bigger pays better and the gas fees. I think that's pretty much it. Plus, there's the party token airdrop. So if you do have extra name claim points, you can claim that back for party airdrops. And if you do claim a ticket as well, you also receive 960 party airdrop points. So that is part of the airdrop that's going to a lot of their products that they've done, is from what I can tell. So that's kind of cool. All right, let's watch the video of Golkey, one of the two founders, talking about how this works. Have I got it there? No, I haven't. I've got to actually unrelease it. Let's do it now. All right, second time.
Happy lucky day, everyone. If you haven't heard, Ticker Name Claim is now live. Today, I'm going to be doing a video on how to mint Ticker Name Claim points and how to claim names. But first, what is Pool Party and what is Ticker Name Claim? Pool Party is a platform that allows people to launch their own trustless Hex stake pools. If you're familiar with Maximus DAO, we launched 5 Hex stake pools last year that pooled over 1.1 billion Hex. So now with Pool Party, we're opening up the gates for anyone to utilize our smart contracts to launch their own. ticker name claim is a pre-launch phase that allows people to claim the ticker that they would like to use for their own Hex stake pools. So pool party ticker names are valuable one-of-one assets that you can use for your own branded pool or sell to the highest bidder. So there will be a secondary market as well once pool party launches, where you'll be able to sell these tickers if you don't plan to use it for your own. As of right now, we have 50 claimed names, which is amazing. It's been really fun to watch people's creativity and to start imagining how people are going to utilize these for their own pools, but really awesome names so far. So the rules for a ticker name claim: you can mint 48,000 ticker name claim points per 1 ETH. You can burn 9,600 ticker name claim points to claim a name, and unused ticker name claim points may be converted 1-to-1 into party airdrop points. So let's dive in on how to mint ticker name claim points. First, let's connect our wallet. You will need MetaMask. After we're connected, you can input how much ETH you would like to use to mint name claim. I'm just going to mint one name, so I'm going to mint 0.2 ETH. Let's go ahead and mint. After we've minted ticker name claim points, you'll see that our balance is now changed, and we can go ahead and claim a name. What name should we claim? I'm going to go with Legacy. So we'll search, and if the name is available, you'll see that it says claim now. So let's go ahead and do that. Awesome. So it says successfully claimed, and you can now see Legacy is under my names. And if we refresh, we'll see that it is now added to the main list of all claimed names. So let's go over one last thing, which is convert leftover name claim points. So let's say you don't want to mint any more names and you have some leftover name claim. You can then convert those into party airdrop points, which are non-transferable and will be airdropped one party per point at the launch of Pool Party. And that is it for ticker name claim. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hop into our Telegram, t.me/MaximusDAO. Also follow us on Twitter, Maximus_DAO. Very excited to see the names that people claim, and also very excited for a Pool Party. If you want to read more about Pool Party, go to hexpool.party. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you have.
All right, so that was a summary from Goldkey there on how to use this. Obviously, there's three things. You have to get the name claim. That's your first thing. You have to mint those with 0.2 ETH, which is about 350 bucks. Then you have to put your name in there and claim your name now. You have to click on that button. And of course, if you've got any extra, if you decide to get more than 9,600 name claim points, which is 0.2 ETH or 350 bucks US, then you can then cash them in basically for more party airdrops. Now that's pretty cool. Now obviously by claiming the name, you also get 960 party airdrops per name that you claim when they do their airdrop as well. So you can see the rules up here at the top there. Now obviously, typically from my understanding of this is really designed, you get these names if you are going to do a Hex pool, staking pool, if I'm correct. So I will have another look at the original website, but that's kind of cool launch there. We'll probably do more on that. All right, that is pretty cool for Maximus. Now, obviously, the Hex price at the moment is running up at 8.9 cents on the main pair. We're going to get into the Pulsechain update. Before we do that, though, I can also see here on the name claim site here that there's 152,000 points in name claim. They've got 22 holders. So you can see the stuff on the blockchain as well if you so wish, including the amount of ETH that is in there. Looks like they got 52 ETH in there already. I don't know how much that's coming in, but they might have. Oh no, I don't know how much ETH that started with, but they've definitely got 93k in there for the party one there. So pretty nice little earner. I don't know what's happening with that stuff. All right, so cool. Let's get into it. We're going to get into Pulsechain updates. Before we do that, though, let's catch up on the chat, shall we? I think so. And we're on to our final two topics. We've got Pulsechain updates and, of course, Hex daily payouts. So hope you guys enjoy that, and welcome to the live show, everybody. We've got a few people in the house. Of course, Robert came in. Hex for the win, 100% Robert. We've got Hex Buller in the house as well. Hi, Hexkins. Good to see Hex Buller. Who else is in here? BC in the Matrix, man. Good to see you as well. Rocket, baby. Rocket. Definitely Rocket. That's the way we roll. Matt Jones in the house as well. Morning all. Good to see you, Matt. And Kate Fergus says, by the way, Superman, I apologize. I predicted 15 cent X mid-March. I'm sorry for being wrong once. Yeah, that's all right. That's okay. It's all amongst friends there, Kate Figure. We're all amongst friends. What else there? Let's jump through some of these comments. Tom Boss in the house as well. Morning Hex Token. Good to see you, Tom Boss. what else here? Hex Buller says, let's take our rightful place above 10 cents this weekend. Folks, enough with these single digits. I think we have a very good chance of doing that this weekend. A very good chance. So, yeah, definitely a possibility there. Now, it's obviously in the United States, it's still Friday. And the obviously down under, it's here, it's Saturday. And it's quite late. It's getting about almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Jumping through some of that. Let's go. Let's get onto here. Pulse Trump says, difference between Maxi and team from your view. Keep up the great work. Fun times ahead for the community. Will we wait? Well, obviously there's some obvious differences. The Maxi is 15.2 years. It's probably, I don't know, about 14 or so years to go. And team is a 10-year perpetual. So that's going to keep refreshing itself every 10 years. So the Maxi straight off the bat is obviously launched earlier at the lower share rate and got more T shares relatively speaking. And of course, both of them have the similar, they've got the nice gas fee end. But obviously Maxi sitting at about number 30 on the stake. So yeah, what was it? 194.3 million hex was put in there at the beginning. And of course, that got burned, a little bit got burned. Yeah, but was it not 193.3? So yeah, Maxi is probably the behemoth there as well. So it goes out further out, and so because it's further out with its T shares at earlier share rate, it's going to accrue way more hex. So Maxi is the top of the line there, and I note that it hit 10 cents. So Maxi did hit 10 cents, so it's a pretty big deal on that one. In fact, we might as well have a quick look at that while we're here. I think I've got that on the have I got that on the tabs? No, I have to bring up Maxi. Maxi here, Maxi. I've got to spell Maxi correctly first though. Maxi. Mazzy, not Mazzy. It's not Mazzy. Maxi. That's a bit lazy with the old typing, isn't it? A bit lazy. Is this the right pair? I think it might be. So yeah, we've got Maxi at 10 cents, folks. Woohoo! So it's already front run the old Hex there. It is the 15.2 year, the 30th biggest stake in Hex. It's a big deal, 10 cents. This is going to get even bigger as it gets closer to the time. It's going to have so much in Hex in it. You're thinking about, if you think outside the Hex Godwell, out in the future, this is the next big boy that's out there, so to speak. So yeah, you're going to watch this thing very carefully over time. And in terms of a long time play on Hex, it's going to have a major value play. It's going to be fun to see that play out. So nice. Let's go back here, back to Hex. And let's jump away to, oh, you guys can't even see it. I just realized that you guys were on the wrong screen, but it is at 10 cents. It is at 10 cents. I forgot that I was on my main screen and not the shared screen, so sorry about that. We must have a Lambo, says Brennan. Hey family, you're gonna make lots of money in crypto just to buy a Lambo? Seriously, I got much better ideas for making crypto bags than buying a Lambo. I guess if you were 18 years old, it might sound cool, but there's much better things to spend your money on, that's for sure. Hey family, all your rock. Thank you, Superman, for all you do. You're welcome, Dave. I appreciate that. Nice sentiment. Bloodfish King says, I prefer mainnet after July the 1st so I don't have to work out taxes. Nice. I think a lot of people in that play. Let's jump through some of these comments. How far behind am I? We're going to jump through all those. Sorry. We've got Briz in the house there. Good to see Briz. What's up, family? Good to see Briz in there. I'm only 23 minutes behind the chat, so not too bad. What else there? We're jumping through here. Jumping through all those comments. Hey, I'm only 22 minutes behind now. Jumping through there. Sandy Beach says hashtag winning. Yeah, we're hashtag winning definitely with Hex and Pulsechain. It's going to be a major win. Now I was talking to. I guess I better not say that. I've been talking. I feel like saying it, but I'm not going to. Hex Buller says I don't know how much about other coins, so don't take my opinion on factual advice. Lol. I keep it simple. Nice one, Hex Buller. Let me jump through this. PSI says I may have FOMO'd a little into Hex. That's okay. That's good. What else there? Kate Ferguson, if you sacrifice for either Pulse or PulseX or both, pat yourself on the back, you guaranteed yourself future self-retirement. Yeah, probably, although not financial advice. That's going to be pretty major. PSI says, I won a Twitter competition today to get a physical piece of digital art paired with an NFT. My crypto journey has turned around. Nice one there, PSI. Who else has jumped in here? Sorry if I've missed your comment. I'm just trying to race through here. And KD says Superman is not me. In other words, he didn't register that name. Yeah, I thought you were one of my candidates, KD. I'm just kidding. What else there? It was pretty funny though. Someone took the Superman, so they're obviously there was Batman there too. So maybe they're just taking Superman and Batman. But seriously, just to think, oh well, that seems a bit too likely, doesn't it? You guys are awesome. I love Hex Token, best community crypto. Yeah, that's true, Jamie. We've got a great community here. It really is cool. What else there? Jump through some of those. We're up to 10 minutes behind now. Let me get up to here. I'm going to jump through Pulse Trump there. You've got a couple questions. I'm going to jump through that. Get into Discord with those questions, I think, Trump Pulse. Let me jump through here. Sandy Beach says his tutorials are talking about gold key, but I'm still a bit good, but I'm confused. Yeah, I'll try and do more on that myself. I have a little bit behind on the main staking pool, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Superman got his work cut out getting through the comments, says Brennan. Yeah, that's why I'm jumping through fast. Let me jump through that. This is the 10-year perpetual staking pool. It is. Big Kahuna is correct. We're going to jump past the Fibonacci's. Hex bugger the Lambo. We want Ferrari, says Brennan. That's funny. You changed your mind. You're flipping around there, Brennan. You're flipping around. All right, let's get into it. Pulsechain updates. Let's do it. And am I in the right structure? There we are. Let's get going on this one. Pulsechain. I will leave a timestamp as always. So let's get into it. So here we are. Richard Hart. He's been posting a few things, of course. His last one, obviously, we're waiting for testnet. His last update from Pulsechain was down here somewhere. He's been pretty busy though. Here it is here. So this was our last date around Pulsechain. Testnet v3 coming soon. So that was on the 16th. So that's only 2 days ago or so. So it was kind of cool. He's been posting a lot around the financial stuff, around banks and stuff like this. What is interesting, if you guys don't remember, there was the stimulus check, $1,200 that a lot of Americans got. And of course, your stimulus check from April 2020 would now be worth $163,000 plus 3 years worth of staking yield, 15% minimum APR a year for 3 years, so an additional $75,000. Isn't that amazing? So congratulations if that was you. If you put your stimulus check into X, I think it was worth 2,000, wasn't it? 2,000 was stimulus check. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was about that. So that's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. All right, let's jump. He's posted lots of stuff around the government and the banking. We've gone through a lot of this on this channel the last couple of days, and obviously about the Dutch farmers. We've talked about freedom on this channel as well. It's a big principle of this channel. There are globalist elites, socialist progressives that are, both of them are tyrannical. They're very clever. They're trying to take away the powers from the Western democracies, and of course move us into authoritarian regimes. And of course they're still doing that. They're still pushing that forward. They've had a few little setbacks recently, but they're still trying to push through. Unfortunately for us, this is another little bit of success here. The revolt of the Dutch farmers against unreasonable nitrogen pollution regulations succeeded. Farm citizens movements party winning big in regional elections to become the biggest bloc in the Senate. So that's pretty cool. Now that said, of course, the other side of the movement has also got picked up more seats. So it's a little bit just to balance that out there. So the ones that are trying to get rid of our food supply for irrational means. So just be careful there. Now they're trying to flush this through a lot of the Western countries. They're really they basically decimate the food supply and with delusional claims about climate change. Climate change is always changing. We've had claims about the end of the earth since probably at least the 60s. Every time they are wrong. Their last claims were supposed to end. Top world scientists said we were going to end in 5 years. Greta Thunberg was pushing that out. She deleted the tweet. This is how dishonest they are. Deletes the tweet, and of course, the world didn't end, and we're still here. Now, do we have weather changes? Yes. Is it due to these IPCC models? No. The weather's warming's coming in well below those models. And so these guys are just living in delusion. But what do they get out of it? They get control what you consume. That's where they're heading with it. They get control what you consume, and they get control of what you think. So just be careful out there. Do your due diligence on that topic. It's very, very important because freedom is part of crypto. It's a very important theme that we want to protect so that we get to flourish as well. And suddenly you might say, oh, well, that doesn't bother me, won't bother me. But once there's no food in the supermarkets because they've shut down a lot of the farms in Canada, Europe, New Zealand, Australia, you'll quickly find out that these guys can botch up like that. They really can botch up like that. We've seen it in the past, in the 20th century, happen many times, and millions of people pay the price. All right, let's get on to the positive news. We got Pulsechain updates, and of course, let's have a little refresh of this. Is the Pulsechain GitLab here, and of course, we've got 3 Commerce Capital here, March the 17th. In for work, we've got Brett Paulson in for work on March 18th, so it's pretty cool. Gamma March the 17th. Now Gamma did a very good interview with Internet Money just a few hours ago with KG, and of course we're going to talk about that in a second. He's been really on, I guess, a validated tour, so getting out there, spreading the word about validating, which is a really good sign. You know, he's in the team. He calls himself a dev light person, so a dev light, and of course he's really got good expertise in validating, and of course also some code knowledge as well. So he's been out on a tour pretty much. I think he's going to be doing a lot more videos to help people in our ecosystem, Hex, Pulsechain, and people that come into the ecosystem to understand more about validating. So if you had sacrificed for Pulse, for example, you need 32 million Pulse to go and validate, which is about, you know, somewhere at $3,100, $3,200 or so when we had the sacrifice. So, you know, you're going to need that if you're going to solo stake. Like I say, there will be staking pools, liquid pools, you know, centralized exchanges, you know, staking as a service, those kind of things out there. We're going to see a lot of innovation in that space that we don't talk about much because we just don't have that system up and running yet. So the teams will probably quickly get onto that, like Alex McFurter with his data center and things like that. So it's going to be pretty cool. Now, obviously, you can run your own validator. You'll need a 2 terabyte SSD storage, and I think it's 36 RAM, and so you can set up your own validator and potentially have lots of validators, like up to a couple hundred on a computer with at least the minimum specs or so. So that's looking positive. In any case, we're going to talk about that in a second. We've got Gamma there. We've got Kyle. Who else we've got jumping in here? We've got Space Ghost March the 17th logging in for work, and SJB logging in for work March the 17th. So the team's working hard to get us over the line. Obviously, the last update we had from Richard was that the block scout was up to 95%. Obviously, we're going to have a secondary explorer through Aragon with Beacon Char, which we're going to have that front end too. So we're going to have a few new things when it comes out with the new proof of stake chain, which will be V3. So that'll be technically our 4th chain testnet, but it'll be the first V1 of proof of stake. But basically, technically, you know, this will be our 4th testnet leading up into mainnet. So it's pretty cool. And Richard put out in this tweet last time that there'll be a final testnet before mainnet, but I'm just not quite pricing out yet any additional testnet, although I think that's unlikely at this stage. So it really depends where they head with the Shanghai fork, which is still a bit of a wild card for me. All right, so that is everybody logging in for work on the Pulsechain. On Pulsex, of course, let's do a refresh of this. This is Pulsex work group, and we see people logging in for work. 3 Commerce Capital, March 17th. Agris, March 17th. We've got Brett Paulson on March 18th. He seems to be at the front of the time zone, so he's logging in there as well. And Heinz in there, March 17th. And Lucas, March 17th. And, of course, no, Richard didn't log in on that day. So getting closer, though. The team's working hard. Get us over the line there. And, of course, yeah, 95% on the Block Explorer, meaning that there's probably a few things to work out to get that to 100%, is my guess on the blocks there. Because basically it's linking in to a database, and, of course, with a nice... what we've got there? We've got Cape Figure with the super sticker distracting me a little bit there. Nice one there, Cape Figure. Got to shout that out. And what's that? A little cat. Number 1, is it? Number 1. Nice that. I like that. Number 1 on the piece of paper. I like it. Appreciate that, Cape Figure. Thank you very much for your support. So yeah, we've got all the stuff going here. Yeah, it's the Block Scouts going into a database, and of course has an archive node set up for it. And so I guess if it's just taking a lot of work to get into that final 5%, maybe they do have to do some things to get it there for 100%. That's on the Block Scout Explorer. So we already see this on the old, the current one that we've got, the old proof of work, the 2VB. which is technically the third testnet from the old day, but not officially. It's V2B. And of course, we've got 3 seconds there on the average block time ticking away. And of course, this is the Block Scout one that's showing the blockchain. So we're expecting a new one with the proof of stake fork and getting excited about it. The other one, of course, is a beacon char. This is going to be the Aragon one, which is they were really keen for. And of course, this is our second execution client, and this is the front end. This is the Ethereum version, and you can see there's 551,000 stakers, or validators, I should say, which is pretty cool. And we're going to obviously have to get used to the terms of epochs, slots, and blocks. And of course, you typically have a bit of a committee of validators. I think it's 128, if I remember rightly. Yeah. And of course, one of them gets selected as the validating the block, and the rest of them are do attestation. They attest that block, and then of course that picks up a new set of validators for the next one in each block and slot. So not every slot's going to have 32 slots for a epoch, I believe. So not every slot is going to have a block and necessarily run through it, but most of them probably do, if not near all. And of course, that's the way they go. They get validated by a block. So that person that validated gets a reward. The testation validators get a reward, and this is pretty much how it goes there. Now that reward's going to be probably 25% lower than Ethereum, and that's part of our deflationary side. Plus, we're going to have the EIEP burn in there as well, with the burning as well. So it's kind of an improved version of Ethereum in terms of the net deflationary aspect. Obviously, subject to the price of Pulse and the Gwei at the particular time that's running on the chain. So it's going to be fun to see that all play out. But anyway, we're going to have these two sort of front windows, the windows into the heart and soul of Pulsechain testnet v3. So it's going to be cool. And of course, we're going to have the PulseX front end, which may be surprised. Maybe they've done a few updates to the UI, but understand we are going to have some UI changes. And I think this one's changed as well. This Block Scout is a little different. We'll see when it comes out. So that's pretty cool. So that is bullish news from the team. They're all logging hard for work, trying to get us over the line. And of course, do understand basically from the sentiment from Gamma there, the dev, that the team's just working to get it done and get it up and running as soon as possible. It doesn't seem they're really waiting for the market, so to speak. But like I say, if it does come out mainnet by June, July, that's kind of a pretty good time, because we'll probably have the terminal rate on the interest rates. I can see that being very bullish. And of course, yeah, and technically they'll be available to do it. So it sounds good to me. All right, so he did announce on KG's Internet Money show his videos on being a validator. So if that's something that you're going to look at as being a validator, he's got a whole ton of videos here on Gamma Dev Apps. So I'm going to post this in Discord, but I'll post this in the chat there as well, in case you want to go and have a look at these videos. You'll have to put an email in just to show that on this platform, just to register, and you just do the free service. You can get access to this. You don't need to pay service on there. And there it is. So that's the link to the site. He's got videos on how to set up validators. So if that's something that you are looking to do, you can definitely do that. Now, like I say, when Pulsechain launches, there's going to be a lot of innovation in the space around validating. And of course, people will be able to do delegating instead. So maybe you don't want to do set up your own computer with your node and your validating software, like Prism or a Lighthouse or something like that, and having to load up Ubuntu, this software with say Aragon or something there. You can just delegate. There'll be new products probably popping up. Obviously, you're going to have to do due diligence and make sure the community's happy with any of those providers, but being able to delegate your Pulse instead, and if that's so choose. Now, there will be third-party options as well, like liquid loans, which may end up offering a higher yield. You'll have to make some decisions around that, but it's definitely in play there. So how to create a system MD process for Start Geth Prism, boot up there, how to unstick a pending MetaMask transaction, import validator keys from staking deposit CLI into Lighthouse. So if you've run a node, like maybe if you've been on Electronium or something like that, which is another crypto, and if you've run your own node on your computer, you'll probably be familiar with the CLI and Lighthouse, and of course the validate installation. So remember, Lighthouse is one of the consensus clients that you're going to need to do validating, and you obviously have to have something like Ubuntu or something, or Linux. So part 4, installing Lighthouse and Aragon on Ubuntu, Linux there, it continued. So this will teach you how to do all this stuff. And then part 4 there, installing Lighthouse and Aragon on Ubuntu, Linux, as well. What's needed to secure a public archive or full node RPC endpoint as well. Remember when you're validating on Pulsechain, you've got your own wallet addresses, right? So you'll have a private one, all the sort of stuff you have for a wallet, a public one, and of course you basically are validating. You'll have your own. If you're solo validating, you've basically got your own. You're not actually losing the crypto. Your Pulse is not going anywhere. You're just still keeping it in your own addresses. So it's kind of the cool aspect of that. Because as soon as you go for a third-party DApp, maybe liquid loans, you're on another platform. Even though the code might be immutable, have audits and everything, you are going, putting it into those platforms through the smart contract. So it's not completely out there, but it's not the same as validating with your own wallet addresses and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting to see that risk return trade-off there, if you want to put it that in those terms. But some cool videos there, so definitely check that out if you want to watch that. I haven't actually watched any of these yet. I only just saw it myself. There is a locked one on this particular video, so I'm not sure why that is, but the rest of them look like they're all unlocked, so worth watching. I'll be watching them. So if you like to keep learning about the ecosystem and know all the terminology and how things are done behind the scenes, then probably a good place to start. And looks like we'll see probably more from Gamma, from the Pulsechain team there as well. So pretty bullish. All right, let's see how we get on. We've got Hex at the moment. Hex is at 8.963 cents, looking really good. Let's get into the Hex daily stats. We've got day 1201 hot off the press, 17th of March 2023, 9 cents. Woohoo! Look at that, flat. 9 cents flat, man. Is that so glorious? It's so good. Now, why is it so glorious? It's been a long time since we had 52 cents back in the bull market. So it's pretty good to see a local high like this breaking out of the bear market and into the bullishness. So if we go to the Hex chart here and just give this some context, we've got the overlay here. Let's go all the way back as well to the top of the bull market there. So we've got the top of the bull market here. You can see that we had this blue resistance line, which was our bear market, basically kind of our containment resistance. And of course, we ended up busting through that. Look at that, we've busted through it. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Bring on the bull. Now, obviously, we got alternatives. We can obviously do anything outside this blue line, but it really is suggestive that we're going to, start to move higher over time, even if we have dips in the market. Like even if we came back and hit the blue line in the future and then rallied off with a nice hockey stick or something. Obviously, we're expecting Pulsechain testing at V3, so we're expecting pretty bullish environment. And of course, Bitcoin is behaving really bullish, so it's kind of cool from that point of view. All right, so that is where we are on there. So nice little 9 cents. We'll take that up 10.7%. Very, very nice. We've got the payout per T-shares 6.356, so we got paid really nicely today. So if you're mining Hex with your T-shares, very, very cool payout there. We've got the increase in the share rate up 4.8 to 26,635, and a T-share will cost you 2,397 at the moment. Obviously, if you do longer pays better, you can get 20% more shares for your Hex every year, up to 200%, and that would give you get this at, if you did 10-year, at a third of the price. So just remember that in the play. Average mining length there, 6.44 years, but obviously we know the Hex Godwild is coming out, and of course when Hex Godwild comes out on the 23rd of March, and we can see that here it's coming up very closely. It's only a few days away, really. That's going to change the share pool. It's going to change, which is going to fall. It's going to increase the Hex payout per T-share, and of course may have a small bump on the share rate as well. And we can see the share rate here. Share rate is just climbing pretty steadily here. We're expecting a bit of a bump here in the 15th of April to the 16th of April. Expecting a bit of a jump there, and it's going to go up, up, and up to the right there. This is based on Crispy Man's predictions on Hexfire. And of course, we're expecting a massive jump at the end of the year based probably on old school stakes that are coming out with big returns. And of course, that has to readjust the share rate to reflect the fact that longer pays better than short. And of course, from the people that come out at that particular point in time. So that's a pretty big deal there. So that is my expectation around there. So that's a massive increase in share rate. And we're just starting to pivot up the steep side, just at that inflection point there as we go up. So it's pretty cool. All right. So that is we've got this big stake, this big Hex Godwild stake, 146,000 T-shares, and we've got these little larger holders here, all going to pay a higher share rate price, probably quite dramatically when they go to restake there. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. All right, that is on that one. So let's get into the APY, 35.91% APY in Hex, and of course, awesome, looking pretty good in Hex terms. That's rewards and penalties. Liquidity in the pool, we're down from 123 million Hex down to 94.5 million Hex. We're up massively on the USDC from 1.8 million, 5.8 million up to 7 million, which is pretty nice. And we've almost got over 400 more ETH in the pool as well. Pretty nice. Now, T-shares are up 5,760. We're up to 10,228,000. Like I say, on the 23rd, that's likely to drop down by maybe 150 or so T-shares, including the Hex Gold Whale there, probably a lot more than that actually. So we could get very close indeed towards 10 million. Let's see what happens and whether the Hex Gold Whale decides to restake again as well for another short period of 30 days. That'll be the third time that it would do it in a row. All right, let's have a look at the stake percentage of coins. 10.2% of all Hex is staked. We had a nice day in penalties, 1 million, which is on top. It's like extra yield. It's pretty nice. And of course, the growth in the Hex ecosystem, up 200 holders to 324,143 on the Hex contract on Etherscan. A very good day in the mining, relatively speaking. 57 new miners on Hex, and of course up to 119,705. This is a sort of a headline number because Hex is really designed to get out there and mine some more Hex. So it's kind of cool. And stakers, total holders up 323 to 540,232. That is day 1,201, folks. And of course, we're in our fourth month of the fourth year, and we're on day 1202 with a minimum payment around about 6.3 Hex per T-share. Pretty awesome at the moment, and we're sitting on 9%. So what have we got with Hex? More yield for those who are using the contract to mine Hex. And so we've got more yield, and we've got the price going up. So we've got price too. That's the holy grail, of course, price and yield. It's a glorious thing. And of course, it shows up in your portfolio, which is there. Now, check out hex.com. It's in the link in the video description. Obviously, nothing is financial advice. Do your own investment due diligence. If you have any more questions, get onto our Discord. We can help you out with some of those. And we've got every single link you could imagine for Hex, Pulsechain, PulseX, and all the projects going on to Pulsechain. And we've got all those links there as well. So get into our Discord. It's a good place to be. Let's get back into the 15-minute chart on Hex. Get rid of the overlays and auto log that. That's our chart at the moment. Looking pretty tasty, isn't it? Looking pretty tasty. Like I say, our high so far is, and it was only a few hours ago, was 9.137 cents. We're currently at 8.984 here on Hex's biggest liquidity pair. Pretty glorious indeed. We've got about 57 people watching at the moment. We're coming up to an hour and 26, which is not too bad. Let's get into some of the remaining comments. Just to wrap up the show, we're going to probably another 3 minutes, up to an hour and a half. That sounds pretty good to me. Briz always says, go, 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 go. So got to go. So this time we're going differently. We're going differently this time, Briz. Oh, look at that. Woo! 9.012 cents. Hex Token channel pump just to finish off the live show. That's how we rock and roll on this channel. That's pretty hilarious. Now, I'm not that far behind. I've got to get further ahead here. Yeah, definitely got up to that because I gave my little speech about freedom. Harry Williams says, grow my own food. That is probably a good idea. And water. Get some nice water filters as well. There's some technology out there that filters out really to the small micron level. So if you're not familiar with microns, it's really amazing. Down to actually the nano. I think it's down to nano level, and I think it's actually down to pretty small nano microns. So I can't remember. I think it's, yeah, I can't remember. Is it 12 or 8? That's pretty amazing. There's drink bottles you can get from the UK. Pretty good for that. People say, I don't care. I got a tap. I turn the tap on. Here we're talking about. But it's a bit like prepping, but it's common sense prepping. You know, it's not like end of the world doom and gloom. It's just definitely if there are shortages, which are that bit more pragmatic, then you should cover any shortages there. There's not going to be a zombie apocalypse, at least we hope not. If you watch those zombie movies, they're terrible. What people do to each other on those zombie movies. I know it's just a movie, but man, that's some crazy stuff. Lies beneath the house there. Freedom channel, family channel, no drama channel, 100% lies. You got it, you know it. What else we got there? Jump through there. Whoa, 9.39. It's pumping on the old Hex Token channel. We got Brazil says I was working full time and didn't need it. I think you guys have an old chat in the chat there. Atri says smash the likes. Definitely smash the likes. Way too far behind here. We got Dan Dog Crypto. Let's go Pulsechain. Now we've done it 12 minutes now. Doing pretty good there. Kate Figure says we are closer than you think. Says Kate Figure. I like how you're thinking there. Pulsechain Testnet V3. Man, if we get it this weekend, that'd be glorious. This price chart would go just absolutely crazy, I think. We've got to remember it's going to be the first proof of stake and upgradable with all the upgrades. Right? So we'll have sharding, ZK rollups, dank sharding there. And that's kind of the last mile for Vitalik, right? Vitalik was, that's kind of, even if they didn't do the rest of the roadmap, they got a much bigger roadmap, but even if they didn't do that, he's kind of seeing that as their finishing line where they get the TPS up to, he's talked about 100,000 transactions per second, which is dramatic difference from where it is today. So we'll see whether that happens, but definitely the upgrades. He was talking about the end of this year. I don't know if they'll get it to that line. Obviously, the Shanghai upgrade, which is expected on the 12th, I think it is, of April, is the next bit, and that's what we want. We want to see. That's bullish for Pulsechain. So nice on that one. What else there? Pretty tasty, says Briz. Go, says Brennan. We're definitely going. We're up to an hour and a half, so we're definitely just hit the hour and a half line. Katie says 10 cents rolling in tonight. Possibly. That's definitely possible. Let's go Hexkins. We'll probably have to inch up a bit further into the 9.2, 9.2, 9.3, and then probably get a bit of resistance at 9.6, 9.7, and then go for gold on 10. We just need some big player to come in and say, yeah, we're going, man. We're going to 10. And what about Funding Gym and others talking about big institutional type of money, whatever that agencies are, comes in, they want you to get Hex, but of course they're fighting against the retail book, right? The retail book wants Hex too, so they don't get it all their own way, do they? They're the big money, don't get it all their own way. Those that may have to pay for it. It's just the way it goes. Now you got to think the Hex Investment Trust must also be at their line as well. So if we bring up the Hex Investment Trust, where is that here? I've got it at the top somewhere. Here it is. So the Hex Investment Trust must be at 10 million, sorry. They need 50 people and 10 million. So they must be at the 10 million now with the Hex price up at this level. That's my guess. And of course, obviously they need that to go public, but I don't know the finer details of that. But the Hex price is heading in the right direction, the Hex Investment Trust. So yeah, it's going to be fun to see. Also, hopefully Connects will give us an update at some stage. All right, what else? Let's get out of that. Yeah, is it Irish Day today? Is it today, Irish Day? I think it's. I see down at down at one of the cafes there, they've got Irish thing all over the thing, so it might be Irish Day today. And the people get pretty drunk off their faces on Irish Day. That's all I know. That's about it. I feel bullish on the next week, says Big Kuna. Me too. I'm bullish on the next week. Are you going to have Superman Emergency late night stream of Hex bumps? Yeah, if it gets towards 10 cents today, I'll be on. I'll jump on. You guys know it if I'm aware. So I'll definitely keep in the case. Some Paddy's Days. Let's go, says Katie. 100%. Yes, happy St. Patrick's Day there, MJ Money. Yeah, happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. Might as well give that. 10 cents, yeah, I'll be on 10 cents. If we hit 10 cents for some reason, yeah, when we get up to these pivotal turning points like 10 cents, there's very good chance, especially with the momentum at the moment, that we could get some big players moving us up. They'll just go, yeah, we're going. So definitely that's a reasonable expectation, I think, especially given the behavior of Hex in the past. It's definitely plausible. All right. And like I say, think about it. All these influencers talking about Hex and Pulsechain, and it's just getting more positive too. Like the comments are more positive. Some of them have sacrificed for Pulsechain. Some of them are got Hex bags now. Ivan on Tech's been a big one for there. A crypto banker. Lots of people want to interview Richard. You can imagine the interviews for Pulsechain launch. It's going to be insane. You're going to have probably 200 people, influencers, trying to get hold of Richard. Richard, I want to interview you for Pulsechain launch. I want to Richard, and they've got millions and millions of people in their audiences, and so across the whole lot of them, there could be potentially tens of millions in the audiences across them. Now there's a lot of the commonality across certain audiences, but some of them are very different from each other. So yeah, people that spend most of their time in DeFi, like a lot of people potentially that watch this channel, they're not in CeFi land. CeFi is like a whole different world. People sending, I'm on my exchange, I'm getting the latest token on the exchange, I'm going to trade it here and there, margin trading, Bitcoin. They're living in quite different worlds. So just the way it goes. Although, this is the way it is, I guess. What else? Dunk on the green beer, says Brennan. Yeah. All right, so we're up to now 34. I think it's a good place to finish. We've got Hex at 9042. If Hex does head towards 10 cents, I'll be back on. Hopefully it doesn't happen just after I finish the live stream. But yeah, maybe later in the day, if it does happen, we'll be here. And of course, we've got the weekend, right? So it's only Friday in the US. So we've got Saturday, Sunday. So we've got 2 days ahead of us. And we've led into the weekend pretty good from crypto point of view. And we've got the Fed meeting next week on Wednesday. That is still very, very fundamentally important. And of course, if they do 25 basis points, I think we're good to go. I think we're 25 basis points or no change. I think 25 is probably where we're going to hit. Then we're probably hitting very good for next week. And of course, if we get V3 test network, it's game on, game on. So it's going to be fun. All right. Thanks, KD, says KD. And of course, Brennan says MEXC could pump us to 10 cents. Possibly on the weighted price on the indexes, on the price listings. Yeah, possibly could do that. So we'll definitely watch out the next couple of hours. We're got 2.5 hours left to go, or 2 hours to go. We'll watch to see whether MEXC does have any impact on that, particularly on the coin listing sites, right? And whether there's any arbitrage over to the DEXs would be interesting, because obviously DEXs is where most of the liquidity is. We'll see. All right, let's get out of here. Big Huna as well. Thank you. You're welcome. And once again, a big thanks to Kate Figger for the super sticker. Appreciate that big time. And of course, the Hex Cruise is coming up, and Kate Figger's going to be on that. So that's with Black Hexicans organizing that for April. So that's coming up pretty soon too. Briz says, did you see the tweet from her video with Grant Cardone? Yeah, that's what I was kind of alluding to with the interviews earlier there, Briz. I just didn't say the name, but that's correct. Her video there on Twitter talking about a potential interview, Cardone wanting to interview Richard. That's kind of where I was alluding to with some of that. All right, let's get out of here. Let's wrap up. Take care, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. Have these shows been fully informative? We've got so much stuff happening. I've had so much content that's just been out there. So, you just have to watch this show and you're going to hear all about the last 24 hours. So it's pretty cool. There's a couple items I leave out just because they're not so much so. But for the most part, that's what we're getting on this channel is the Hex ecosystem, its derivatives, and of course all the Pulsechain projects coming. It is the biggest thing coming up in crypto. And of course, there are a couple other big items out there potentially. But this is the biggest one of them all. So you guys are in the best community. And hey, look, we could very well 10x, 20x, 100x our community size with Pulsechain. It's going to be fun to see. All right, take care, everybody. Bye for now. Peace out. 10 cents. Bring it on. Woohoo!